What's up, YouTube? This is Red Zone 101. As always, God bless and peace. First of all, to all of the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Hey guys, got another subject I want to talk about. And it's something that I've been seeing on YouTube and whatever. And I'm just going to say it like this: the right tool for the right job. Okay? I see where people are talking about how something like this right here, a less lethal. This is a Burnham Mission 4. It fires a .68 caliber projectile, anything from a solid nylon round to your pepper rounds, and when they hit you, they burst, and it's like getting sprayed with pepper. Okay? Anyway, I see where people are talking about how these will not be effective if you're coming up against someone that has something like an AR. And my response to that is, let's be real, okay? The right tool for the right job. If I'm in my car, okay, and I see someone approaching my car and they're reaching, and I see a firearm and they're bringing it out like this and they're walking towards me, and I've been in the hood long enough that I can recognize a threat. If I have a choice between using something like a Byrna LE or even the new CL, okay, and I've heard some people have gotten theirs and they really like it, I'm like this, more power to you. But the bottom line is, if I had a choice between using a firearm and a less lethal at that point, guess what? I'm going for my firearm, okay? Because right tool for the right job. A butcher doesn't use a steak knife to carve up and section up a piece of beef. Just like when you go to a steakhouse, they put your steak in front of you. They don't bring a butcher knife out and say, hey, here, have at it. No, okay? The right tool for the right job. You want to use less lethals where less lethal force is required, and you want to use firearms where lethal force is required. I've always said that even law enforcement carry both. They carry firearms and they carry less lethal, because even they realize not every situation is going to require a lethal response. So you have to be able to determine what is going to require a lethal response and what is going to require a less lethal response. Okay? Like I said, if someone is approaching me and they have a firearm and I know that they're about to try to rob me, carjack me, or hurt me, for the most part, I'm going for my firearm. The only reason I would use a Byrna, or let's say something at that point, like a less lethal, if that was all I had, okay? Because in that situation, having something is always better than nothing, okay? And even if I had, let's say, my less lethal, and I was able to fire a couple of shots, maybe, let's say this person is coming at me, they have a knife or whatever, and I hit them in the face. I'm not telling you what to do, I'm telling you what I would do. Hit them in the face. Getting hit with one of those .68 caliber projectiles is going to cause a lot of pain, it's going to cause a lot of trauma. Potentially enough to make the person deter from what they're trying to do to you, okay? So again, you want to use the right tool for the right job. And like I said, it's a judgment call. And that's where experience comes into play, learning the laws of your state and what have you. Because once you pull that trigger, whether it's a firearm or less lethal, you're responsible for pulling that trigger. I mean, you're responsible for the repercussions that are going to happen after that, even if you're in the right, okay? Once you pull that trigger, you can't take it back. So make sure you're in the right. If somebody's if I'm outside and I have my less lethal, and I see somebody, let's say that's maybe had like one too many drinks or whatever, and they grab a stick or else, a brick, and they're coming at me to try to hurt me. Could I use my firearm? Yes. But but at that point, if I have my less lethal, like maybe something like my Mission 4 and is ready to go, again, it takes practice to make sure that if it's not already, if the CO2 isn't already, let's say, screwed in and charged up, it takes practice to get it to where you can, within seconds, get it ready to deploy. And that's one of the reasons why I like the Byrna series of pistols, because as soon as you pull that first shot, as long as the safety's off, it's going to fire. But again, if that person is walking up to me and I see him, I might take my less lethal out and fire a couple of rounds, okay? Whether it's center mass, whether it's above the neck, or whether it's below the belt, I'm going to try to put those rounds where they're going to do the most damage. So again, I seriously believe both have their place. Like I said, police, law enforcement uses both. And there's a reason why. And I've always said, because every self-defense encounter does not require a lethal response. But you have to be able to tell which is going to be which, okay? And again, that's experience, studying, being trained, and that's on you. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Like I said, I just been seeing so many people saying that something like the Byrna, because that's what I use when I'm out in public or what have you. And let's say I don't have my firearm. If I'm carrying someplace where I'm not able to carry a firearm, I have my Byrna. I've seen videos where people have shown demonstration with the Byrnas. Okay, I'm talking about the pistols, not talking about the carbine or what have you, where somebody will have a mask on, right, to protect their face, and they'll take 1 or 2 shots to the chest or to the stomach. And they'll go, oh, that wasn't so bad. And to me, that test is flawed. I'm going to tell you why. This is just my own personal opinion. I'm going to put the rounds where they're going to do the most damage. If I feel threatened, okay, meaning I'm in a situation where someone is trying to hurt me, I am going to put those rounds, talking about a less lethal, where they're going to do the most damage. I'd also do it with a firearm, but we're talking about less lethal. And when I see these tests that people do, 1 or 2 rounds, I'm like, oh, that's okay. And then they'll show where there's this big bruise or whatever. But I'm thinking, yeah, that's just 1 or 2 rounds. What if you empty the mag, but you don't just hit the chest center mass, but you hit above the neck and below the belt? That is a whole different story. Taking a couple of rounds to the chest, okay, I might even be able to do that, okay? I don't want to do that because I can tell you from personal experience, it hurts, okay? But again, I've never been shot above the neck with one. Imagine one of those projectiles. Here we go. And granted, this is plastic, okay? Well, excuse me, it's nylon. Imagine something like that hitting you square in the jaw, in the forehead, in the nose, in the mouth, or in the groin. Okay? Now, you might say, oh, well, that's a terrible place to shoot a person, but I'm going to be real with you. If it's self-defense and you're defending yourself and your family, we're not talking Queen's rules or something, or King's rules or whatever, okay? You're going to do what you have to do to survive that situation. So again, when I see those tests and they're just doing a couple of rounds to the chest center mass, I'm like, that's not realistic to me, because if I have something like this right here, and let's say I've got 19 rounds, okay, guess what? I'm not just going to be aiming for center mass. I'm going to be trying to put you down at that point if I'm trying to protect myself and my family. And again, I'm going to put those rounds where they're going to be the most effective. So back to what I originally was saying, the right tool for the right job. Less lethals have their place in self-defense the same as firearms. Okay, I'm going to stop it there. Hey guys, want to thank you for watching. Hopefully everyone is doing well out there. If you like if you like what I just put out, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think, okay? Anyway, this is Red Zone 101. Want to thank you guys again for watching. God bless. Watch your six. And peace whenever possible. Take care.